of the Care. And we're going to get to our next guest. It's Lynn Wilson. She's the founder of the CareGiver Partnership. How are you today, Lynn?
I'm fine. I hope you're fine as well, and it's a pleasure to speak with you today.
Oh, same here. And so let's talk about, caregiving. If I see it right, there's going to be a lot more caregiving for children. When I say children, grown children to give towards their parents, because the way we're going right now, the country isn't going to be able to afford everyone in nursing homes or assisted living facilities. Caregiving is going to be a real vital part of our community, isn't it?
It certainly is, and we're definitely starting to see more of that.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter whether the Democrats or the Republicans stay in office. There's going to be there's going to be parents that are going to need to stay maybe with their children, or they're going to want to stay. And people want to stay at home as long as possible, don't they?
Oh, for sure, they do. That's always, in most cases, that is what they opt for. It's the number one wish. We hear all the time from caregivers that their parents have said, please don't ever put me someplace. Please let me stay home.
Right.
And sometimes that in itself is difficult because you can't always make that promise.
Well, yeah, it's tough. It's as much as you'd like to do it, sometimes even the most adept and the hardest working caregiver, sometimes it's just the disease takes over and there's nothing you can do, right?
Exactly. Well, and sometimes it's just whether the caregiver is not physically able to do it, but sometimes the parent just needs too much help, too much medical care, and and sometimes too. Oftentimes we're hearing that a patient gets better socialization sometimes in a skilled nursing or assisted living than they can at home. So that's sometimes also something to think about.
Well, here's something that I know you sent us. 2/3 of caregivers, average age is 48, and they're women, correct?
Correct, yes.
So, and people don't really think about that. They always think, well, caregivers might be a husband or a wife taking care of their elderly spouse, right?
Exactly. You're absolutely right.
So where we heard today that these stay-at-home people don't take care, they don't work like people that have jobs. What we're saying here is some of these stay-at-homes are actually taking care of their parents, not only their children.
Oh, exactly. They're taking care of. They've got grown children issues, sometimes younger than grown children. They have parents. It isn't just a parent. It might be an old aunt, and an aunt or an uncle that doesn't have help. Some of these caregivers are greatly stretched. That's for sure.
So, what are the key roles of a caregiver?
Well, first of all, safety. That's one of the biggest things that we see. That 80% of admissions to nursing homes are due to, in most cases, a fall. That's the biggest reason that people need help. My mother, for one, that's the one that comes to mind the most. She was living at home on her own, almost to age 80, and she really shouldn't have been, but we were allowing it to happen just because she did not want to leave her home. And she ended up falling. She lost control of her walker, and she fell. And with that fall, it just opened up a whole can of worms, and we were forced to react, to do something, for her, to change her living situation. And it's difficult, especially in our situation. We really didn't have the discussion ahead of time, what the plan was going to be.
Right. And you really, that person, that caregiver is responsible for making that house senior friendly.
They are, and it's easy to think about that. Oh yes, this is quite simple. Just make it all happen. But with some parents, it isn't easy because they may not want their son or daughter coming in and reorganizing, or they may not want to admit that they need the help. It might be hard for them to ask for the help. And, in some cases, there are parents that are very happy that they have the son or daughter there to take over. They love the idea. They want, they feel so good that they have the help. But, I venture to say that probably at least 50 or more percent, that is not the situation, that the parents really look at it almost as interference right at the beginning. But I think the the child, the adult child, has to really think about the safety of their parent, and roles are definitely changing. They looked at their parents at one point, for guidance, and the parents were the ones that were instrumental in taking care of them. But as time goes on, the roles change.
Right, right. Well, you know that old joke. It's a horrible joke, right? But live long enough to be a burden on your children.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
But you
and
really
a lot
don't.
of people are doing that.
Well, and unfortunately, that's sometimes what happens. And it's not that anybody means it to happen, but there's the money only goes so far. Now, one of the biggest issue of being a caregiver is taking care of yourself, and that doesn't always happen, does it?
No, it doesn't. And a lot of our caregivers, they're frantic and they're frazzled. And they don't know what to do. And if they're tired and if they aren't taking care of themselves, it's difficult for them to offer themselves to someone else. So support groups, getting out there and getting some exercise, taking a walk, finding time to go shopping. And I'm not talking about groceries. I'm talking about window shopping, or working on a craft, or getting out there and walking and getting exercise, joining a yoga group, just something to divert their attention, to get away from their responsibilities.
Do you find that people that typically are the caregivers, I mean, sometimes there's no choice, you're the only one, that's it. But
right.
But let's say the children, the 40-year-old, something like that, children that step up, you think they're the ones that are more likely to give help but less likely to ask for help?
That's hard to say with 100%. Certainty, but there are, I think especially sometimes in women, they want to do it all, and they feel that if they're asking for help, then maybe they're not succeeding, but they really should ask for help. I mean, they should ask, their brother or someone, even if someone lives further away, they may not be living in close proximity to the person that needs the care. They really do need to take some time off if they can. There's also agencies like Home Instead, Visiting Angels, and different metropolitan areas have different ones as well. But that's a service where you can hire somebody. Again, it's you have to be able to afford it, but hire someone for a couple hours a week just so that you can get away, and that's very important.
Well, we're here with Lynn Wilson. She's the founder of the CareGiver Partnership, and we're going to be talking to her some more coming up. You're listening to Senior Voice America on 1250 WINS W. Well, we're talking caregiving right now. I want you to, our sponsor for this segment is University Village, Tampa's superior continuing care retirement community, where you can take control of your future by living better longer. Check them out on the web, universityvillage.net. Really, really great place. It's a wonderful place. So, Lynn, you're a caregiver yourself, aren't you?
Yes, I am. I am a caregiver, long distance, to my mother. My brothers do, we call more of the heavy lifting, the visiting, many times a week and all of that. But I'm the one that talks with the doctors, with the nursing assistants. I make sure that she has, nice clothes to wear, new clothes to wear. I do things like, do her nails when I come to visit her. I make sure that she gets her hair done. Just things that my brothers don't think about.
You can't get your brothers to do her nails?
Well, I'm not sure we'd want my brothers to do her nails. It sounds like a lot of surface things, but but there's woman to woman, conversations. There's things that bother her that I can talk to her about, and my brothers are great. Don't get me wrong, but I think they look at things slightly differently, than I do. So yes, I take care of her. I, also this is a fun part of it, but I have 2 young granddaughters that I watch a couple times a week, which that's the highlight of my life. That's really fun. But we also we're caregivers from a different angle too. We operate the CareGiver Partnership, which is a national direct-to-consumer retailer, and we have over 1,000 medical supplies, and we deliver directly to people's homes. So we talk to people on the phone every day, and we hear, all kinds of stories, and everyone's situation is slightly different, but everyone has the same thing in common. They need help. They need life to be a little easier, for them. And we give, suggestions as, there's all kinds of questions that come up, but we offer advice as well as, we do sell products. We have a website, which is, may I give the address of the website?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
it's called the CareGiver Partnership. And what's that web address?
Okay, it is www.caregiverpartnership.com. And on the website, besides for products, we have a retail store. We have over 1,200, a library of 1,200 helpful resources on topics important to caregivers. And the library is updated weekly. We vet it to make sure that the articles and everything, the topics are up to date and, everything works correctly. And this is free to anyone who comes to our website. And we're quite proud of it. We believe that it's probably the largest library out there of caregiving resources. All of the ladies that work in our call center are former caregivers themselves. And one of the women that works in our office actually has a 99-year-old father who lives in a skilled nursing. So when she's not here, she's there, making sure he's taken care of. We've been through it. We know about it, and I think that we're truly compassionate, and we really do enjoy finding solutions for people.
Well, no, I think it's great that your customer service team, they're going through it. They've been through it. Mm-hmm. They're able to help people. You've got, in a sense, your own product testers there.
Oh, we do. And we definitely do. We know what works, and we don't sell anything that we don't believe in. There's been when you have your own business and someone finds out that you're selling products, we've had a whole host of companies trying to offer us products to sell, and we try them out. And if we don't feel that it's a good thing, we don't want our name associated with it. So we really vet all the products that we do offer. One other thing I'd like to mention is that in this day of everybody's in a hurry and everything moves so fast, we offer what we feel is excellent customer service. And when a person calls our 800 number, the call will be answered by a woman who speaks very clearly, takes her time. The customer will not have to suffer a phone tree. They won't have to push all kinds of buttons on their phone to get recordings and everything else. The phone will more than likely be answered by the third ring. If for some reason we can't help the customer right then, we'll call them back within a matter of minutes. And we really pride ourselves on that one-to-one.
Well, and you're getting information back from people, so it gives you the opportunity to see what's happening out there and then bring in new products and new aids and new things, correct?
Exactly. We try to go to a couple trade shows a year, and we're always scouring the web, looking for new and improved. We do a lot of reading ourselves. We have a lot of feelers out there to figure out, what is our customer, what might they benefit from, what product might make their life easier.
Right.
And we pride ourselves on doing that. We also publish about 35 articles a month that can be found on our website, all different topics from home security to falls to eating correctly, the benefits of proper nutrition. So we do have a lot of information.
Well, it's great because it's what people need, because typically when you become a caregiver, you're really just thrust into that role. It's not like you've studied for it.
Exactly, and most of the time it's right overnight. It is. What we've found is in a lot of cases, especially with, for instance, incontinence products, mom or dad might have, maybe prostate cancer. Well, dad might have prostate cancer, or
yeah, no, mom doesn't
right.
have that.
Yeah, I'm 100% sure on that one, on that little fact. But you go to the doctor with your parents, and you find out all of a sudden, they're incontinent, and you go to the store, Walmart, Walgreens, or wherever, and you see all these products on the shelf, and nothing's inexpensive. Everything's, fairly pricey.
Right.
And you have to make a decision. What am I going to buy? What am I going to bring home? And everything on the shelf looks the same when you're not familiar with the products.
Right.
And one of the things we do is we offer samples to try before try before
You
buy.
won't find that at Walmart.
No, and no one there really cares. I mean,
Right.
it's a great store, but they don't have the time. They really don't have the expertise. It's a very confusing product area, even for us at times, with all the changes that the major manufacturers keep making. We have to really keep on top of it so that we understand, the changes, let alone, the customer who's been thrown into this. In fact, there's over 500 different brands, styles, sizes of incontinence products.
Jeez, I never.
What?
That's a
500?
lot. I don't think there's that many for like little kids.
There aren't. Well, that's really a good point. But there's everything from the little dribble way there's to the major, the major bariatric, brief. There's
Right.
everything, bed pad. Just I could go on and on. Anyway, there's a lot of different items, and we have most of these items available to trial, for shipping and handling fee, so that a person isn't going to make a mistake by buying a case of something that isn't going to fit their needs because it's expensive.
Well, I'm looking at the site right now. I think it's a great site. It's got a lot of good information. I want to let people know the best way. They're called the Caregiver Partnership, but the website is just caregiverpartnership.com. Or you can call them at 800-985-1353. And like I said, it's caregiverpartnership.com. Just go check out all the products. I mean, it's really great because, you can finally go somewhere that's easy, that you can find the products you need instead of going to 7 different stores and still being able to find everything. Right, Lynn?
Exactly. That's exactly right. And, we do have, the Internet store for people that, want to do it that way. But if someone, is looking on the website and they don't understand something, we are a phone call away. We're here from 9 to 4 Central Standard Time. We are in Wisconsin, and we do ship to all states except Alaska and Hawaii. We're not able to do that. Our delivery time is usually 3 to 5 business days, so it's pretty quick.
Okay.
And we accept credit cards, of course, check, money order. So we're there really for everyone.
Okay, Lynn.
And then
we got
one more thing.
Oh, we got to go. We only have like 20 seconds. Thanks so much for joining us. We will have you back again, though. Don't worry. All righty, you're listening to Senior Voice America. It's 1250 WINS, WHNZ. You'll find us always here from 1 to 2, bringing you all the information to age in place and age, great for any age.